When you see a diamond, do you ever stop and think about where it came from? For a long time, there was a very dark side to that story. The term blood diamond was a terrifying reality. Beautiful gems being sold to fuel some of the most brutal civil wars imaginable. So how did the world come together to try and stop it? Well, let's dive into this incredible global effort called the Kimberley Process.
But before we even get to the solution, we've got to understand just how big the problem was. We are not just talking about money here. As the founders of the whole system put it themselves, we're talking about a devastating impact on human lives, on the safety and security of real people. These conflicts were threatening entire nations, and the world knew something had to be done.
So what is a conflict diamond exactly? The Kimberley process came up with a very, very specific definition. See, it's not just any diamond from a country at war. It specifically means rough diamonds used by rebel groups to pay for their fight against internationally recognized governments. And having that sharp, clear focus was absolutely crucial to creating a solution that could actually work.
Okay, so you have this global crisis. What happens? Well, this really unlikely team forms. Governments, the diamond industry itself, and civil society groups, all coming to the same table. And what they created was the Kimberley Process Certification Scheme, the KPCS, a truly groundbreaking international agreement.
Their mission sounds pretty simple on paper, right? Create a system that walls off the bad diamonds from the good ones. The whole idea was to completely break that financial chain, to make it impossible for a diamond mined in a war zone to end up in a jewelry store halfway across the world. Simple goal, but wow, the execution was anything but.
So how did they pull it off? Well, the heart of the entire system is something you can basically think of as a passport, but for diamonds. Every single shipment of rough diamonds needs one of these official documents to travel legally from one country to another. No passport, no travel. It's that simple.
And the journey for every single shipment is tracked meticulously. Okay, so first, the official authority in the exporting country checks everything out and issues the certificate. Then, the diamonds get sealed up in a special, tamper-proof container. And finally, when it lands in the new country, their authorities inspect the container and verify that the certificate, the passport, is legit.
And we're not talking about just a simple stamp of approval here. The level of detail on this passport is immense. Every single one has a unique serial number, details on who's sending it and who's receiving it, its exact weight and value, the whole shebang. And it's all printed on special paper with features to prevent forgery. It creates this secure, verifiable identity for every single batch of diamonds.
Now, this diamond passport is a really powerful tool, no doubt, but it only works because it's part of a much bigger system, a whole web of rules and commitments that every single country involved has to agree to.
And this right here, this is the absolute core of the whole thing. It boils down to one simple, incredibly powerful rule. Participants can only trade rough diamonds with other participants, and every single one of those shipments needs a valid certificate. If you're not in the club, you can't trade, period. It basically isolates anyone who isn't willing to play by the rules.
But joining this club is a big deal. It comes with some serious responsibilities. Every member country has to set up its own internal systems to control its diamond trade. That means passing actual laws, setting up official government offices to manage the process, and committing to collecting tons of data on every diamond that comes in or goes out.
Of course, a system like this is only as strong as the trust its members have in it, right? I mean, how do you make sure everyone is actually doing what they promised? That's why the Kimberley process has all these mechanisms for monitoring and transparency built right in.
A huge piece of that puzzle is data. All the participating countries have to collect and share statistics on their diamond production and trade. By making the whole global flow of diamonds visible, the group can look for weird patterns. You know, if a country with no diamond mines suddenly starts exporting billions of dollars worth of diamonds, well, that's a huge red flag that something sketchy might be going on.
And it's not just about looking at spreadsheets. Everyone gets together once a year to talk about how things are going. And if there are real, credible signs that a country isn't holding up its end of the bargain, the group can actually decide to send in a team to investigate on the ground. It's all about making sure the integrity of the whole process stays strong. And the people who created this were really smart. They knew the world wouldn't stand still, so they built adaptability right into the system's DNA. They wrote in a commitment to do these periodic, really thorough reviews to make sure the system could evolve and stay effective over time. Which really brings us to the big question for today. The Kimberley process was, without a doubt, a landmark achievement. It was designed to solve that very specific problem of rebel-funded wars.
But today, the world faces different challenges, and the diamond trade has changed. So the question for its members now is, how does this powerful tool adapt for the 21st century? It's something to think about.